Hey guys, Matt Rosenblum here. I'm with Tiffany Bernard, who's a dynamic
Hi.
living coach. How you doing, Tiffany?
I am well. How about yourself, Matt?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
Looks like we're both wearing the black kind of
Yeah.
coats today. Cool. So, what do you wish you knew 10 years ago?
um, I actually wish I knew 10 years ago that it was okay to put myself first and
Mm,
that it's not selfish to say no and say yes to myself.
yeah,
I had
that's so true. I mean, like, yeah, I feel like when we start going down the path of self improvement, a lot of us start thinking that you need to like give up like things that are just enjoyable to you or just like
Mhm.
stuff that's just about you, and that's really not the case at all. Like really it's probably the opposite of that. Like you get more in tune with yourself, um, and figure out how to integrate that with giving and helping.
Exactly. And I had to learn that the hard way, so I gave and gave and gave until I was the one depleted. It was to my detriment. And so 10 years later, of course, I've learned those lessons. Oh, within the last 10 years, I've learned that lesson the hard way, but it's okay. I got it.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you like learn the lesson, it's all like a journey of like there's demons that you fight along the way and there's obstacles that you overcome, but it's all like part of you learning what you need to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what are you curious about right now?
Um, well, I'm curious about a lot of things. I have one of those inquisitive minds, but I would say right now, especially things within my lane, I'm more curious about where people are in terms of their goals and their daydreams, because that's what I do. I help transform dynamic daydreams into reality. And one of the things I've discovered within almost the last 7 years is that people will talk and daydream for years and years and years. So I'm really curious at this point in my career, how long are people willing to daydream before they get tired and make it happen?
Mm, yeah. So, like, when does that point of like they're in their head too much and they're just sick and tired of like being just in their head, dreaming about doing something or thinking about doing something. And there's the point that a lot of people have that like I no longer just want to think about it. I actually want to do it. And
Hmm.
yeah, like when does that happen?
Right. And it's not just the thinking about it part. It's they may not realize it, but it's usually fear or limiting beliefs that's holding them back. So how long are they going to let that fear or that belief that they've convinced themselves is true? How long are they going to let that hold them back before they're tired enough to just go for it and see?
Right, exactly. There's so many limiting beliefs that people have, and maybe not even they're not even aware of their dreams and like what's possible because they think that they can't do it for one reason
Exactly.
or whatever.
Exactly. Hmm.
Um,
And
okay,
it's unfortunate, but it's true.
for sure. Um, so, and you've kind of touched on this already, but what's the most common mistake people are making when it comes to like living their dream life?
Um, well, of course, it's the fear, right? And limiting belief. But the thing is, they don't, most people don't catch it until you hire a coach or until you talk to someone that can see things that you're not able to see. But lastly, the biggest mistake, I believe, is allowing dream killers to have too much influence over you.
Oh, dream killer. So like a type of person who like doesn't support you.
Doesn't support it. They don't understand your vision. They don't see it. So they will make comments
Mm,
that make you feel like you shouldn't try or your idea is dumb or it's too late. So they give the dream killers too much influence over their life, too much influence over their dreams. And so they never try, or they try a little bit and they quit. So I think that's the biggest mistake, but it's an easy mistake because most times dream killers are people you really care about.
mm,
You
right.
just haven't identified them as a dream killer. It doesn't mean they don't love you or they don't care about you, but they are killing your dream, and it's hard for you to separate the two.
Yeah, no, that's so valid. And I think we're often not aware of that, like how the people that we surround ourselves with and that we're close to may not be in alignment with our vision and may in fact be like, even if they're not actively shutting us down, they might not
Hmm.
be as supportive as like as we would like them to be because they just don't
Yeah,
understand our vision.
yeah, yeah, and that's something you have to figure out for yourself, or like I said, when you partner with someone, that's when you identify it and you have to make a decision. Who am I choosing to listen to? And stick with that. And so you
Right.
have to just focus on the people that believe in you, that are supporting your dreams, and not to say you cut them off, but as it relates to your dream, you just don't hold too much or put too much weight on their opinions.
Exactly. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's that famous quote,
Indeed.
and it's really true. It's honestly like really true. Like you gotta surround yourself with the right people.
Exactly. And I had to learn that lesson too, but now that's something I help my clients,
Nice.
go through.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you've gone through stuff yourself is just more like credibility and proof for like you've gotten through something, so you can help your clients get through it.
Exactly. It's great to be a certified life coach and certified career coach. That's great, and I'm educated, all those great things. But in all honesty, a lot of the things that I've helped my clients with, I use a lot. I do have a skill set, right? I do have a coaching skill set, but
Yeah.
I actually come from a lot of experience. I don't speak just the coaching book says,
Yeah.
and the career coach, it's just like, well, I do understand. I do understand dream killers. I do understand limits and beliefs. So it's not like I'm just throwing my skills at you. It's not like I'm talking at you. I'm speaking to you from love because I'm also speaking from experience, not textbook.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I think everyone really needs to merge like what they learn in a textbook and like what they learn in their training with actual experience that they've gone through. Otherwise, it just doesn't. It's just not powerful because you haven't gone through it yourself, and you need to have that actual grounded experience to really understand where your clients are coming from.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
helps. It bridges the gap between some level of disconnect, whether it's a real disconnect or the clients perceive it as disconnect because they feel like, oh, well, you don't understand because you've never been through it. So how can you really help me? So it bridges that gap to say, no, I can really help you because I do
Totally.
understand.
On 100%.
Hmm.
Um, Tell me something that's true about like living your dream life and going after like designing your dream life that you believe that a lot of people would disagree with you about.
Um, that's kind of a tough one. I wouldn't say people disagree with me a lot. I would say there's probably one aspect that's a little difficult for people to get to. And I would say, with clients and people that just listen to me or follow me, it's very difficult for them to understand that a lot of the legitimate tasks that they believe they have to do in life or that's getting in the way of their dreams is really an excuse or it's really
Mm,
a limiting belief. That's usually hard, and I have to spend a little bit more time challenging them on it because it is, we all have things going on in our lives. We all have priorities, but it's really difficult to see that, yeah, I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to do this, that if you're not making your dream a priority or you haven't penciled it in like you've done other things in your life, it really is an excuse. And it really, really is a limiting belief that I have to do all these things first before I can make my dream happen.
yeah. Yeah. People, I think, come up with so many different excuses to not do
Hmm.
what they want to, like what they really want to do. And it's like ultimately it's kind of sad because you want them to like live their dream life, but it's like so many
Hmm.
different things are self-imposed and aren't really necessary to stress out about or even do. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, I agree with you. What's some actionable advice that you can give us to anyone looking to live their dream life? What's some piece of advice, like one concrete piece of advice that we can do today?
Um, Well, I would say first and foremost, you have to be honest with yourself. Don't think about what other people have told you, what you told yourself about your dreams and how hard it can be or it'll never happen. Be honest with yourself first and foremost and say, am I happy? Am I fulfilled? If the answer is no, that means you need to move to step two, which is really pay attention to that daydream because you have it for a reason, right? So pay
Mm,
attention to that daydream and ask yourself, am I ready or not ready, but do I really want to transform my life? If the answer is yes, move to the last step. Are you willing to commit to doing the work to make that goal happen? Doing the work may mean a lot of things. It may mean committing some extra time after work, after school, in between this and that to accomplish those goals. Are you ready to sacrifice that time? Are you ready to sacrifice and invest and help to making it happen? Because where a lot of people fell short or fall short. They know they're unhappy or they're unfulfilled. They know it's time to commit, but they get stuck on the how at some point, or they get stuck on a learning curve, and so they stop. So are you willing to commit and invest to get help, get support to help you through that last part of the how, the last part of the learning curve, and you move forward? So that's what I would say. I mean, it's I'm saying it simply, and it is more to it, but it's pretty simple. It's making a decision and
Yeah, to
commit.
invest in yourself.
And invest in yourself. So decide, commit to it, and invest.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was great. And I 100% agree. Like investing in yourself, that's the biggest thing you can do. Like looking for help and like just making a decision to like maybe read this book or like hire this coach or do something to get you forward. And even if there's a bit of a risk behind it.
Yes.
And just before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to share that we haven't yet covered?
Um, I don't know. I think we've dropped a few gems for people to to think about. I can't think of anything unless you have any questions. But I always just like to let people know that, or remind people, you do have a daydream for a reason. It's possible there's someone in your life or someone you may be working for that made their daydream a reality, and you can do the same.
Very true. And how can people get in touch with you if they want to hire you as a coach or something?
Okay, you can go to my website. It's www.tiffanybernard.com. Pretty simple, my name. And so you can learn more about me, all of the services that I offer, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, Matt, for having me.